Good morning, everybody.
In my day, a graduate was an elite individual. There were only 5% of the population that had degrees.
39 to 42 were lovely years for me.
I came in 1975.
75 as a student from Belfast.
On and off since 1978, all the way through to now 2014.
94, straight out of school.
Never heard of the place before.
I was a sort of country boy, never been to a northern city.
I was one of the ones that done my army service.
There was a dank smell and just a very different smell.
You couldn't get in a taxi without them calling you love, and I just thought that was great, coming from a little village in Cornwall.
Well, I felt lucky to be studying here rather than studying in Belfast because people weren't throwing bombs at you. So that was one thing which was quite nice.
It was quite hard to make a rapid adjustment because nobody teaches you how to look after yourself. You have to learn.
It means you had to adapt.
Living away from home.
I guess the feeling of freedom.
It disciplined me in the years when I could have been running awry, which I could easily have done.
The university was an awful lot smaller than it is now.
In relation to the facilities that you've got now, unbelievably primitive.
But the teaching was very good and the lectures were very interesting.
I think it was an incredible privilege to be taught by people who were world experts in their field.
I remember having to handwrite exams, and that was only 2006. I imagine these days are they all doing it on laptops and computers? It just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't sound as fun somehow.
There's a real kind of buzz about the place. It's still the same now.
I think students these days are looking for somewhere that they can get a good education and also have a good time while doing it.
So what I say to the students is get involved in societies, you know, do things you enjoy and get the experience from that.
Trying to be the best you can be, whilst taking everything socially and culturally that a university can offer.
You can always find something that you're into.
And that's why I think Leeds is such a draw.
The university used to do rag reviews. I was a singer in those days. And I remember clearly, I happened to be singing a song called America, I Love You. I'd just finished singing. Somebody came from behind the wings and said, America's come into the war. And the whole audience rose up and cheered. It was a most wonderful moment.
There was the student bar, which was smoky, dirty, smelly.
Even when it had just been refurbished, it always looked like it needed to be decorated.
I'm really into music and I've been able to go to a lot of gigs.
I suppose the sort of the student hops as they were in those days, and the various bands that one just read about in the newspapers, and you can actually see them live.
I think that's really what drove me to come to Leeds, really, because I knew it was a Russell Group university, the education standard was excellent, but I also knew at the same time that the social scene was very good as well.
The social side, we had to make ourselves, and we made it. I won't go into that.
The best thing that ever happened was the opportunity to meet my wife there.
It was because I came to university that I met my husband.
It's not something you're thinking about while you're actually there, but we were really good friends.
I met at a conference, all very romantic.
We got engaged on graduation day.
Without the student experience here, I would never have met him.
We got married a year later.
2 beautiful daughters who are both at university.
I managed to persuade my son to come here.
We've been married now for 28 years.
20 odd years later.
30 years plus.
So we're still together.
And I'm delighted to say we're still very happy.
From Leeds, you clearly expect a fantastic education. It's recognised as one of the top universities. But you also expect to be in a global community.
We're very international at Leeds. You know, you look around and there's faces here from all over the world.
It was myself sharing a room with someone I've never met before in my life in a double room in the days where we used to have double rooms. Very strange experience. Another guy from Belfast, a Japanese guy who was a fantastic guitarist. A couple of Malaysian students who used to produce most fantastic curries. And we used to have these wonderful intercultural experiences.
I think we've always had an element of that, but right now we've got much, much more.
Leeds is a very vibrant city. It's a big city, but it has a small city feel.
I didn't feel the culture shock that I would feel normally, like when I go to other places other than my home country.
When I came to campus, I really liked it here, and I thought, why travel anywhere else?
It provides a wealth of experience of countries that you've never even been to.
It made us, at quite a young age, citizens of the world.
I think the current generation of students probably approaches higher education more seriously and with more thought.
There's definitely more of a focus on getting employment after university.
I feel like there was more of a sense that you could just kind of get a degree and go straight out into work.
The money aspect has changed how students think about applying to university.
But it was something we never even thought about, we just took for granted.
It makes a family who's never had any experience of university really question what the value of a degree is.
My children, they're starting to save already with savings accounts, so it's now become part of the fabric, if you like, of the family financial planning process.
So what we need to do as a university is make sure that the money isn't the first thing they think. They think first of the education and the experience. And that's where alumni come in, really.
I think the work of the alumni is critical.
Support the university and to give back a little of what the university gave to me and many others.
I mean, we're all members of the University of Leeds, and we all owe the University of Leeds a debt of gratitude.
We've got a lot of really generous alumni who've given to students, particularly from low-income backgrounds, to help them come to university.
The feeling that I have helped people to start in life has been very satisfying for me. It really has.
Leeds is close to my heart. I am a regular donor. I have been actually since virtually graduating.
Leeds is an institution that does a vast and important amount of research. The money that used to be available from the government is not available in the quantities it was, shall we say. And so that has to come from somewhere.
Whether it is in the student experience or whether it is in particular areas of research, we can focus it as to where the need is greatest. It's those areas that the university and our researchers have identified that can be of greatest value, not just to Leeds, but to the wider world and the impact they're doing.
To keep its place in the world and to give to the world the kind of top-level research that it maintains. Don't we owe it?
It's about giving your time, giving your expertise, being part of the institution, to continue to be a part of the community that you were when you were a student. What we're really about now is kind of really creating a long-term relationship and a sort of virtuous cycle that means all these students that are benefiting from alumni support will go on and do the same for us. So it's a very exciting time.
The opportunity to come to Leeds was frankly awesome.
Leeds is a fantastic place. There's a lot more going on, a lot more opportunity that you just don't get elsewhere.
I love Leeds. People thought I was crazy because I moved back from New York. I actually prefer Leeds to New York.
We've got a great education here, but it's more than that. It's about who you become.
It widened your horizons.
Enabling you to cope with the problems of life or the problems of being a professional.
I enjoyed every minute of it. It's been a useful thing for me to base my sort of life on.
3 words.
Fun, exciting, challenging.
Comradeship.
Educational.
Full of different opportunities. Life-changing.
Satisfaction.
Opportunity.
Development.
Quality.
Enlightening, full of fun, and worthwhile.